Now, we know Google has come under severe attack for the depiction of international borders in its maps. For instance, when it comes to Arunachal Pradesh, it shows different maps to Indians and the Chinese. Speaking to NDTV's Shweta Rajpal Kohli, Google's global president of sales, Nikesh Arora, says Google is an unbiased global company and it cannot afford to pick sides in political disputes.
Let's talk about the controversies now with regard to Google India and the entire issue of Google Maps, the border disputes, and the fact that Google in its maps around the world and anywhere except India is actually showing Arunachal Pradesh as not a part of India.
Let's be fair. Let's understand what's going on, right? If you look at a map while you're in India, you will see what the Indian government validates as the map of India.
But you're going to see a different map on another side.
Yeah, but let's be fair. We're not in the business of picking sides, right? We're an unbiased company which works on a global basis. We can't pick sides in political disputes or disputes of any kind. So when you're in India, we will represent from our Indian business the map that India feels is accurate. When we're in China, we have to represent the map they feel accurate. And when we're outside of those two countries, we represent what the United Nations feel is appropriate, where they mark certain territories as disputed territories. And that's not just specific to the Indian issue. There are many countries in the world where this issue comes up, and that's the position we have to take.
Okay, let me ask you this question. As an Indian, does it not bother you that there are certain areas which are a part of India and not shown as part of India?
When I'm in India and I look at the map from Google India, I see it as part of India.
But when you're sitting in California in your office,
it shows me as disputed territory. It actually shows me that the map that part of that territory is disputed, and that's what the United Nations recognizes.
So which of the three maps will you tell your daughter to believe?
My daughter is a smart kid. She'll understand there's a dispute and she'll look at all three and understand what's going on.
All right. So just to get this right, Google's stated position remains that you are going to see different maps when there is a dispute in different countries, and that will not change.
Our position is very simple. We don't take sides. We're a global company. We operate in over 100 countries around the world. We can't afford to take sides.
But the Indian government has raised objection. Have you engaged with the Indian government to really explain your position? Because the Indian government has an issue with something like this.
Yes, of course. We have had multiple conversations with not just the Indian government, governments around the world which see issue with this kind of depiction.
And what if the Indian government decides to take action against Google?
That's the conversation between the Indian government and Google.
And it has happened, if I'm right.
We have conversations with governments all the time.
All right. But the real policy then is keep everybody happy.
The real policy is make sure you respect differences of opinion and make sure that you do what's right in the context of the overall picture you're trying to portray.